I think the theme of his speech, as he enjoyed a rousing welcome during his walk-in for his address to Congress on Thursday. Rousing welcome, a long standing ovation. Just sort of warmed my heart to see that happen. And then, of course, he quickly announced the American Jobs Act. And, it entails about $450 billion that will be used to boost the economy here. It includes job creation, tax credits to companies that hire. Half of the payroll taxes will be reduced for small businesses. They also are going to tackle this big issue that we're having here in the country with unemployment and, of course, tax cuts for the middle class. They, of course, saying Congress responded, in my opinion, very dramatically, and it seemed that they were in agreement with a lot of the points that the president was making in his speech. There were numerous standing ovations throughout the talk, and his effort to encourage Congress to jump on board with this plan and support them in or him with this American Jobs Act. Now, some of the highlights of this plan, I guess 245 billion will be in tax relief for individuals and businesses. About 140 billion will be used to upgrade roads, bridges, and other infrastructure. 35 billion to help keep teachers, police, and firefighters on the job, and about $1,500 per year in tax cuts for a typical American family. Also, again, to cut payroll tax in half for businesses with payrolls of less than $5 million. It certainly sounds like it's a win-win situation here for all Americans. And, they're really, obviously you want to look it over for anyone who wants to try to dispute the act, but it really sounds like we're taking a step in the right direction here. And so, I think we all need to kind of get behind the president and support him in this effort. Now, a part of the bill specifically targets long-term joblessness, and the president has called on the country to rethink how it looks at unemployment, recognizing the cost of having so many unproductive people for long periods of time. If they don't find something to do, they lose the skills that they've had. Certainly on the resume, those long gaps of unemployment definitely don't look good, and so they really become a concern for the average employer who is looking to hire. So one of the suggestions in this plan is to sort of increase this idea of work sharing. And, we've heard about this. This term has been around, I believe, since the 1980s. I think I initially started hearing about it when we think of maternity leave for women, or for stay-at-home moms who wanted to still kind of keep their foot in the workforce, but also be home and present for their children and families. And so this work sharing or job sharing idea or concept sort of developed. And they're saying that about 23 states, employers in 23 states can sign up for it. And few have, very few have. Now, this is how it works. An employer let's just say that he has, or company has 5 employees or workers, but business has slowed down and they just don't have the budget to support the 5th one any longer. Rather than send that person to the unemployment office, what the company can do is take the other four employees and cut a day's work, that's 8 hours, from their day, from their payroll, and give it to the fifth person. And that way you keep five workers, no one's sent to the unemployment office. But what happens is each worker loses a day's pay. So they, rather than work a 40-hour week, they're now working a 32-hour week. And it sounds great. It sounds great. But they're saying that many United States employers have been very slow to embrace this in the past, and it's partly because they think the process is too bureaucratic and they don't want to upset other employees, and so it's just easier for them to let the fifth person go as opposed to trying to, keep all five on board and just reduce the hours for all of them, which is truth sharing, right? That's where everybody sort of steps up and take a part in supporting the economy during bad times. And then, of course, when things get back good, they can go back to the 40-hour week, I suppose. I guess there may be some companies out there who might enjoy it that way and decide that they would rather do the 32-hour work week. But nevertheless, just some ideas, and I'm sure there's some other things that are being thrown around, some other ways to try to keep people employed. I think one of the things that the president talked about on Thursday was perhaps the possibility of having recipients of unemployment benefits work part-time until they found permanent full-time employment. For those of us who try to be assertive and purposeful and in our careers and staying relevant, we find ways to, to keep our skills up and, do what we need to do. But there are some people who don't have that. And so that would be a great thing to maybe put them in a part-time situation, very similar to what they were doing on their job that was lost. And that way they keep their skills going. They're sort of getting out of the house, and, perhaps depression, it would sort of reduce the possibility of depression setting in and so much more. Nobody, despite what some of these people think, that people are being gifted for sitting around the house doing nothing, nobody that I know wants to be on unemployment. And so I think that's a great idea as well. So I don't know. What do you think? 815-254-7300. Should we do as our president says and just give the people what they want? In this case, especially individuals who have been unemployed for, some a year or two or more. And what happens to people? I am so glad we have a president who is mindful of that. What happens to people? There's people out there who I know who are, looking for jobs that they worked when they were in high school now because employers have just stopped hiring. They've stopped hiring. So anyway, love to hear your thoughts. 815-254-7300. Stand by. Stay close. We'll be back with more of Marilyn's Cafe Society after this quick break.